Hey there, Hoopty fans. It's been a while since I've done a video. Today, we're gonna have a big reveal. My next car is right here behind this garage door. First of all, cue my intro. All right, Hoopty Nation, are you ready? I'm gonna hit the button and let you see the next big project. Boom! All right, let's fix the sunglasses. Here we go, Hoopty Nation. This is a Cadillac DTS. Maybe one of the most luxurious cars I've ever driven, especially for its time period. You know, there's some, I think, more luxurious older cars, but as far as up to this time period, it's hard to beat this baby. So this DTS is a 2007. It's called Luxury 2. I'm not sure what that trim level actually means, but it only has 40-some thousand miles. We'll do a walk around here and I'll tell you all the good stuff and the bad stuff, and I'll show you the interior and we'll take it for a drive, and I'll give you my opinion of this beautiful land yacht. So first of all, we'll talk about the negatives. There's only a few, but you guys know me by now with the amount of videos I've done. I like to tell you all the bad stuff before we pretend like everything's good. I don't want to be that kind of car salesman. So let's talk about the bad stuff. So basically the bad stuff on this car is going to be about the paint. The paint is not spectacular. We'll do a quick walk around here and let you see what you can see. See if you can pick anything out, and then I'll point out some of the issues. So, funny way that I acquired this car. If you all watch the channel, you know I just had a pontoon boat I got recently. Well, I kept that thing all summer, used it a whole bunch, and time to pull it out, I decided I wasn't happy with it and I wanted to look for another one. So I went ahead and sold the pontoon boat, and the guy that came and looked at the pontoon and ultimately ended up buying it also had this for sale. And he was, of course, like everyone, haggling me a little bit on the price. And since he had this for sale, and I love these cars, and also obviously I'm a car enthusiast and car salesman, we worked this into the deal. And I didn't get a great deal on it, considering what I had put into the boat, but I got a good enough deal on it that I have the opportunity for it to turn into a little profit for me. Opportunity, I say opportunity because I have to sell this Cadillac for pretty much top book now to get what I wanted for my boat to begin with. So we kind of have to wait until it sells before we say if that's a good deal or not. So, as maybe I've told you guys a few times on this channel before, I am not a master negotiator, especially when I really like something. And I was negotiating pretty hard on the boat, planning to stick to my guns, and then the Cadillac got involved and I got a little softer. So I probably gave the guy a better deal than I really wanted to. So let's just talk about, first of all, the paint on this car. It's got a lot of bad spots on it, and hopefully we're going to be able to touch a lot of these up. The chipping, you see the chips right there. Hopefully you can see those. Those are 4 chips, and they're pretty big ones. Over here there's some tiny ones that are not nearly as bad, but those are pretty significant. These right here, these 2 are pretty significant. Really, the whole hood sucks. With the skills that we have painting vehicles, honestly, I'd like to just paint the whole hood. Back here, you can see there's a pretty significant chip. Right there is another pretty big one. So I'm not crazy about that. And even worse than that, back here on the back rim of the hood. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe I need to go back to the other side. See that right there? Gosh, the paint is completely gone off this back rim of the hood. And like right here, it looks like somebody ran some kind of grinder or something on there. See how it's scratched down? I mean, maybe somebody did that with a buffer, but I have trouble believing that a buffer would even do that. I mean, that's a pretty significant piece of damage. See right there, and right there is where it's the worst. I don't know if you can see that real good, but it's there. Anyway, this paint is just not great. So it's got a little tap down here on the front where obviously they hit something. I'll give you a look at that. It's not that bad. I'm not super worried about that. I'm probably not going to go to the trouble of fixing that. This center logo, depending on how much those cost, I may go ahead and order one, because you can see that's pretty faded and corroded. It's not looking great. My favorite thing to fix on just about every car, it's like the first thing I look up when I buy a car is how much are the headlights, because I hate these glossy headlights and they never really come that clear. I don't care what anybody says. Those kits and all that crap, I mean, do they work to a point? Yes, but they don't look like new headlights. Putting in new headlights on a car, I think, makes it look so much newer, up to date, higher quality. But spoiler alert, I already looked these up. Cadillac headlights, not a good deal. The cheapest I saw the headlights for this car anywhere were in the $300 to $400 range, and the ones that were more towards the $300 range were from much sketchier sellers. So probably not going to be doing headlights on this one. Okay, as we go around here, see those mud flaps? The black has like fallen off of those, and they've turned kind of grayish, where they may have been painted to match the car at some point. Either way, they look like crap, so I'll have Taryn take those off and paint those black just to make them all one color. You can see back here on the back, same thing. Hope you can see that, but when you're standing behind the car, which I'll zoom out here and let you guys look here in a second, see that one, same thing. When you're standing back behind the car, it really looks poopy. As a friend of mine uses poopy all the time, she's got me saying it. So I don't know how well you can see that, but obviously those were painted. Now that I'm looking at them closer, they were obviously painted silver to match the car, and that silver's fallen off. At this point, they would just look better painted black, so that's definitely what we'll do. Back to the paint. Lots of little bad spots in the paint. Nothing terrible. I mean, for a car that's a 2007, the roof is pretty good. But you see right here along this sunroof, once again, just like on the hood, at the edge, that paint was obviously just weak and didn't hold on for whatever reason. I don't know how long that's been off of there, but once again, carrying on the theme here, right at the edge of the trunk. I'm getting in the sun. Let me get so you can see it. Right at the edge of the trunk, you can see here. Once again, it was just a weak spot in the paint, and it came off. And there's another chip trying to come off right there. Oh, geez, I'm going to make it worse, but it's already loose, so I might as well scratch it off there. So, I recently bought a... gosh, that was a big piece. Okay, I'm doing more damage, but at least it feels like that's all good now. There's nothing loose. We just bought an airbrush kit though, and I hope that this will be the first car we can test it on. I'll get some matching silver paint, and hopefully we can airbrush this and cover up some of these little problems. Right there's a little problem. Not bad. My shadow's in the way, but a couple little scratches on the bumper right here that I can probably buff out. This rear cymbal looks pretty corroded. Once again, I'll probably try to find a replacement for that. just because it would really spruce up the look of the car to have those new. The wheels are chrome, fake chrome. It's like a cover. It's a real wheel, but you know, I hate chrome. On this car, it's not as bad to me as it is on, you know, a younger person type sports car, but I hate chrome, so I'm not going to do anything about that because it would be too expensive to replace these wheels. But I have to say they look pretty good on this car with the silver, so it doesn't kill me like it does some cars. When it's a darker color, like, it just drives me crazy, but it's not too terrible in this car. And that's really it for the exterior. I mean, aside from the ugly mud flaps and the paint issues, which the worst of which I think is on the hood. Like I said, we may paint the hood. I'm going to find out what it's going to cost to paint the hood. My painter Luke, I could easily get him to do it. If it's a couple $100, I think it would be worth it to maximize the value of this car, and especially this little spot right here. I hope we can solve that with the airbrush. But anyway, let's get in and check it out inside and take this thing for a ride. Oh, let's look in the trunk first. It's got a massive trunk, massive. There we go. I don't know if there's a trunk button. I don't see one. I'm sure there is one, but we'll use the fob. Trunk is massive, like I said. Look at that. Woo! Now, I recently, on one of my videos, climbed into the trunk of a Crown Vic, so I won't do it again. This one is not quite as deep as the Crown Vic. It's a little more shallow, but it may even be bigger, actually. All right, let's get inside. Okay, let's get inside and get some impressions of this. Oh, it's like all my worries have left. This car is so comfortable. And listen to that wonderful V8. All right. Let's turn on some air before I suffocate in here. It is a very unseasonable high 80s today, which is crazy for Clarksburg this time of year. Okay, folks, we're inside the car now, and I just want to tell y'all, this thing is spectacular. Like, I don't think Cadillacs are like this today. I mean, I haven't driven one recently, a new one, but I feel like they have lost this beautiful, beautiful interior with, you know, top of the line technology and luxury, and they're more of a sports car now, it almost seems like. I'll kind of go across the controls here so you can see everything. You see it has heated and cooled seats. It's got memory 1 and 2 there, and also it has a button to exit the car. See, it'll heat and cool the top and the bottom of the seat, so the back and the butt, I guess, the best way I can think of to say it. The adjustable seat controls are actually down here, so I can't really show you those. I don't know what that, there's an M button with like little radiation around it. I'm not sure what that is for. There's the extra keys. There's controls up here for the tripometer, which is all down there in the bottom portion. See, it's got the service tire monitor system on right now, and it doesn't show any readings for the tires, so I'd say somebody didn't put those monitors in there when they replaced them. They probably told the old lady that owned it they were $150 each, and she probably said, stick them up your ass. That'd be my guess if I were guessing. So you see the mileage there. I don't know, maybe I need to zoom in, but I'll do that in editing if I do. 45,904 miles. It's clocked to 160. Over here on the radio, the only thing I can tell you this car doesn't have that I would expect it to have if you bought a new one today It does not have a backup camera. It does have navigation. You know, you can put the destinations in and everything, and it's digital radio, and it does have a CD player. Let's hit eject and see if there's anything in there. No. I mean, you can see the navigation is a little bit cartoony, and compared to today where it's a lot more detailed and realistic looking. It's not the greatest screen, which is probably why it doesn't have a backup camera. It's not a very high resolution screen, kind of like the one I took out of the Hummer if you watch my other videos, but still, for this car, I think it's super nice. It has an analog clock. It says DTS under it, which I love. That is very cool, I think. Gives it a very luxurious feel in here. The climate control is nothing real fancy. Dual zone, obviously. It has a button where it links them together too, which some cars don't seem to have that now, and I think that's completely ridiculous. So I'm glad this one has it. It has a Bose stereo that sounds amazing. Due to copyright, I will not turn the stereo up and get my video pulled. You can see also the passenger seat is heated and cooled. And the seats in this thing, folks, I mean, car seats today just are not comfortable like these seats. These feel more like grandma's love seat than sitting in a car. So, I mean, it's, you know, they're not supportive like sports car seats, which is, I think, is usually what most of these companies are going for today, but they are soft and calming and relaxing, and the leather on them is like hard, which I like. It's almost like a graphite type feeling. I like that because I see way too many cars where the leather is wore out, and I don't think that would be a problem in this car. Sorry, I got all my junk sitting there. Extra set of keys and a thing to stick my camera on the window, and my Mountain Dew and sunglasses. But here we go. Nice big glove box. So you got several things here. That thing opens, and then under that, this thing opens, and then hidden down here you got cup holders, which stay hidden when you're not using them, which I think is really cool. It just looks good. But anyway, nice big sunroof. It's got the buttons to program your garage doors. It's got a button for the sunshade in the back. Not super fancy today, but I feel like, well, it worked last time I hit it. Maybe I'm hitting the wrong button. Is that what that is? Okay, so apparently that got jammed or something, because I just hit it like yesterday and it came up, and now it's not. Sunroof, moonroof, of course it tilts and opens up all the way. It's nice and big in this car. But anyway, let's get it out on the road, take it for a ride, and I'll give you some impressions of how it runs. All right, folks, let's get this thing on the road and see how it does. Oh, it's amazing when you're used to driving sports cars and SUVs to get back into a car like this and remember why the land yachts were so popular. Of course, it's got the shifter on the tree up here. It's got the, let me put my seatbelt on so you don't have to listen to the dinging. It's got the traction control button on the end of the tree, the column, whatever. I hear people say it both ways. You can tell me in the comments if I'm a dumbass for that reason or any other. I have pretty thick skin, so if you want to insult me, go for it. Anyway, all the beautiful fake wood grain in here, love that. It's all in good condition. None of it has fallen off, none of it has peeled, so that looks awesome. We'll take her for a little ride here and talk about how it drives. The number one first impression with this car or any car like it has to be the absolute lost art of dampening bumps, because even luxury cars I drive today, you know, I just recently had a 7 Series BMW, and I recently had an S-Class Mercedes, and none of them ride like this car does. Just had a Mercedes SUV. While it was probably one of the nicest cars I've ever had, Just doesn't ride like this thing. This thing is in a class of its own, and I think this is probably, I don't know how long they made the DTS. I'll have to look that up. Maybe I'll add it right here when I go into editing. But I don't know what the last year for this car was, but there weren't many cars made after this one, I bet, with the same ride quality. It's just hard to get this ride quality from the way they build modern cars, trying to make them light and fuel efficient, economical. I don't know what the MPGs are on this car. Once again, I'll look that up and put it maybe like right about here somewhere. I don't know what those are, but I imagine they're not terrific, because what you can tell this car has when you're driving it is it's got some ass. You know what I mean? It's got some weight to it, and that's I think what makes it ride so well. You know, and I think it's when you start taking all that weight away is when these cars start feeling, you know, light and flimsy. And you know, they're made out of all these space age parts and lightweight stuff, and yeah, you save on gas mileage, but they never ride as good as this car rides right now. And I don't know where the 360 camera is, but sorry if you saw me flip someone off. A good friend of mine, Madison, went by the other direction, and that's just a customary thing we do among friends. Okay, well, let's do a couple little tests here just to give you all an idea of how it runs without making any of the local police angry. We'll do it nice and quietly somewhere. The good thing about speeding in a car like this is they don't think I'm out hot rodding. You know, more like Grandpa's late for his dentist appointment if I do pass a cruiser, and they probably just say meh, like he's probably too old to give a ticket to. Anyway, get down here to my official test track, Armory Road. There's a flagger down here right now, so we'll have to get past him before we do anything. Get around the corner out of the sight of these people so they don't call the police on me, hopefully. And then we will open this thing up. I got a cool little new draggy thing that will tell me the 0 to 60 and everything of the car, and I forgot to bring the damn thing, so before I post this video I'll get that draggy and take an actual measurement on this thing so it's not just me counting, but let's see what the 0 to 60 is on this thing. Alright, you ready? 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000, 7 1,000, 8 1,000. Okay, it was between 7 and 8. I would guess like 7.4 or 7.5. But we'll, like I said, we'll test that for real when I remember to bring my little box with me. Yeah, I got a cool little draggy thing that connects to your phone and uses GPS to take all those measurements, like 0 to 60 and quarter mile and whatever else you want it to do. So I think that's pretty cool. I'll go over here in the parking lot now and do my favorite part of testing cars is see if it'll do a burnout. And I'll give you a spoiler alert on this one. It just did a burnout when I took off with the traction control on. So when I turn it off, we're about to get these about to get the rubber spinning on this thing. There's no doubt in my mind the answer to will it do a burnout. It absolutely will do a burnout. Alright, so we're going to go over here in this parking lot. Once again, we're going to hope these people don't call the police on us. We just won't hang around too long, so if they do, we'll be out of here by the time they get here, hopefully. It's a little incline. But I like coming here because nobody ever really bothers me. There is a motorcycle here right now, so somebody's probably here, but I don't think they care. So we're going to turn off the traction control. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. We got a little bit of rubber there. Not as much as I expected, really. Let me put the windows down so you can hear it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I really expected that to be a little bit better, truthfully. It's a burnout, but it's not a Crown Vic burnout. Okay. My super scientific second test is the donut test. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. That's a great success. Great success on the donut test. We left white smoke. Alright, now we get out of town. Get out of here before the police come, if anybody called them. Flagger lady was definitely looking at me with some suspicion. She couldn't see me, but I'm sure she could hear that. Alright folks, well, that's all I really have to say about this car right at the moment. Very, you know, I try to give cars a rating, and that sometimes that's a number, sometimes it's just me talking, but I'm very, very high on this car. If I were giving it a 1 to 5 rating, I mean, I wish it had. I'm a little disappointed with the burnout. I thought it would be a little heavier. On the highway, this thing feels amazing, but it just doesn't have quite the same low end that like the Crown Vic had that I tested recently. It doesn't have the same burnout power that that had, but still, it's still pretty awesome. Still back wheel drive. Love it, love it, love it. I'd give it maybe like a 4 Hoopty mountains out of 5 Hoopty mountains. Well, I'll find some kind of little mountain to use as my graphic. That'll be something I start adding to the car videos. So we'll call this one a 4 out of 5. If we had a little bit more torque, a little bit more low end, it would easily be a 5 because this thing is just a great, great car. Anyway, if you're interested in buying this thing, it's going to be available. I swear the one donut won't hurt it. If you're a person looking at cars, trying to buy one from me, and you just saw me doing that to it, it's alright. I promise you. I've done it to every car ever. Alright. Anyway, folks, please look out for other videos. I'm probably actually going to record another one today. I have another great car that I actually have already sold on eBay, and it's going to be disappearing really soon. So I want to get a quick video of that one before I lose it. So I'm probably going to do another one. I don't wear the same t-shirt every day, but you will see me wearing this same t-shirt in at least 1, if not 2 more videos. So thank you very much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and keep on driving, folks.